Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
Pump up the jig, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning again. Thanks for coming back, and thanks for joining us here on TalkingSports.tv, live and interactive. And now, Nikki, we have the honor of being joined by Michael Finewax, another middle-aged Jew, okay, let's be honest, who will join us to talk, as usual, about fantasy sports, because Michael is one of the top fantasy guys in all of North America. He is a senior editor at ROTOWORLD, one of the best sites in North America for fantasy. And now, Michael, I'm going to just throw it to Nikki first, because she's got a question she's dying to ask.
Go ahead.
I got to ask, Michael, because I know there's a lot of people out there watching who are in, office playoff pools for the NHL and stuff like that, and they might not know what sort of strategy to take. So my question is it better to take a star player on a team that probably won't go more than 1 or 2 rounds, or do you want to take a role player on a team that you think is going to go deep? So do you want to take someone like Alex Ovechkin, knowing the Capitals aren't going to go very far, or maybe a role player from the Rangers instead? What do you think is the best strategy?
Well, I would not go after any Washington Capital players early. You can take them late. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll go around a couple rounds and you can get lucky, because even like 4 or 5 years ago, teams like Edmonton went all the way to the Cup final as an 8th seed.
They were an 8th seed?
Yep. But I would not take Alex Ovechkin early.
Yeah, because
for
you're
sure.
a conservative guy.
Well,
I would.
Well,
I think Washington can peak and get hot right at the right time.
And you're
but
you're probably giving your money away then in the hockey pool. Okay?
Probably. It wouldn't be the first time, as you know. Who are some of the good guys to pick then?
Well, you have to go with teams, and you have to change your strategy possibly right in the middle. Like, let's say you like Vancouver.
I definitely like Vancouver.
Okay.
I think they're going to go all the way back to the finals this year. So.
Great.
Okay, you're going out on a limb, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, it's hard to argue with past history. I didn't say they'd win it all. I said they're going to the finals.
Okay.
But let's say you're picking 12th out of 14 teams. Mm-hmm. And both Sedins go, Alex Edler goes, Ryan Kessler goes. You have to change your strategy, because you're not going to be able to get the people you want. Mm-hmm. And you might have to go after a different team. Let's say you change to the Rangers because only Gaborik has gone and you want Brad Richards. So you have to be able to change strategy very quickly, depending on who goes.
What about players from the teams that are seeded 4 and 5? Because of the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers, one of them's going home. Same thing with Nashville and Detroit. Those are some loaded teams. Do you think one team's got a better shot than the other?
No.
Would you load up your players from one team, maybe? Or
it's the team you like. You pick the players from the team you like and you go with it. And sometimes you're going to get knocked out early, and sometimes you're going far. So it's really a matter of who you like. And sometimes you take players from teams you don't like, and you just have to go with it because at the time that's the best strategy to do.
Give us an example
Of somebody that you don't like, or you do like. Let's say you're taking a team like Boston. Okay, now there's certain players you're going to take early, like Krejci, and you're going to take Chara, because it's always good to take defensemen. Defensemen are very important in playoff pools because they tend to score more on the power play than they do in the regular. Like, the games are low scoring, but they'll score on the power play. So you take the power play guys like Chara, those are the type of play, like Corvo, those are the type of players you take. Mm-hmm. But a guy I like is under the radar a bit. It's like a Rich Peverley, who only played 55 games but got 41 points. He had 10 goals, 31 assists. Very good plus minus, and he's second line player, and he's going to get points. And whereas people will just look on the list to say, okay, he's the highest scorer second, they're not necessarily looking down so far right away, and the points per game are a big difference.
So what about other sleepers that you think might be good picks?
Well, I like a guy if you like Chicago, I like Andrew Shaw, who has 22 points in only 35 games. He's a rookie, yep, and he's played very well.
So he's under the radar.
He's under the radar. A guy like Nicholas Kronwall on Detroit, everyone will take Lidstrom way ahead of him.
Right.
He actually has 2 more points going into tonight's game than Lidstrom. I mean, he's played 12 more games, but still, he's the guy who's going to take over next year. There's guys like the guy I really like. If you like Nashville, take Alexander Radulov.
Why?
He's only played 7 games. He was the leading scorer in Russia. He has 6 points already. They're going to use him a ton.
Just came back from the KHL
Exactly.
after several years on vacation.
4 years.
I guess, out in Russia. Although I don't know why anyone would want a vacation in Russia, but that's just me. All right.
Folks, we're with one of the world's foremost authorities on fantasy sports, so take notes. Michael Finewax is here joining us, and he's giving you some tips before your NHL playoffs, and we're going to ask him about the coming baseball season as well, which actually started today.
It did.
There's a few, you've got some sleepers in baseball as well.
Well, there's a couple. In baseball, I really like guys, if you're taking pitching, a couple sleepers are guys on Oakland pitching and Seattle pitching.
With those stadiums, they're
big
going to have
ballparks,
good numbers.
huge ballparks. They're going to have good numbers on half their games. So one guy I like on Oakland is Tommy Malone.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Malone's an excellent pitcher. And one guy who's really under the radar in Seattle is Blake Bevan. A very, very good
Remember
pitcher.
these names, guys. I don't know them.
Oh, I know them.
You heard them? Yeah,
Of course
because
I
you're a
heard them.
fanatic. I never heard of Malone and Bevan. I readily admit it.
Fan
I
is
have
just
a
short
life.
for fanatic anyway, so guilty as charged.
I have. Okay, now what about Josh Willingham? He moves to Seattle.
No.
Are we looking for a year from him? Or
No,
what?
he
He's in
actually moved to
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota, I should
He's
say.
with the Twins now.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Well, you're the one that says
He
you
was
don't
in-
know.
No, you're right. It's the beer.
He was in a big ballpark.
That's why I'm drinking water.
He was in a big ballpark in Oakland. And while Minnesota's also a pitcher's ballpark, he's got a shot at 40 home runs this year. He is a big
Serious?
power. He is a big power. He is
He
a
can hit.
big.
He can hit.
He's a big
40
power.
home runs?
Yep. He's got
right.
a
He's
shot.
got a
I'm
lot
not
of
going to say.
positional versatility too, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Doesn't
well,
he
they
play in
just-
a lot of different spots?
Well, they just moved him back to left field. They tried him in right field. He also DH. He's eligible at DH if you're in a pool. And I think he played 36 games there last year. He'll get some games at DH because they want to keep his bat in the lineup. But he'll probably play left field most of the season.
You know what? With a bat like his, he'll play just about anywhere.
Oh
won't
yeah, he'll play all the time.
Yep.
He'll play, if they want to rest him, they'll DH him.
Michael, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Josh Willingham, a sleeper. Take him in your draft. Michael Finewax says so. And at the end of the year, you can email us and say thank you to Michael for his pick. And stay tuned and keep your notepad out because right after this, we're going to have Handsome Howard Kamen coming back on site here yet again to discuss his handicapping. He's going to tell us who to pick if you want to make a little bit more, I was going to say gelt, but most people wouldn't understand gelt. Bread.
I don't understand gelt either, so let's go with bread.
We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
Pump up the jig, yo, pump it up, yo.